What's going on, everybody? This is Tyler Anderson with getasax.com. Now, we got a lot of questions from people who checked out our first loop sessions video, and they were wondering, hey, this looks really cool. How can I do this kind of thing at home? We got you covered. So we're gonna take some time right now and we're gonna break down how that first loop sessions video is made. We're gonna talk about the equipment that's needed and any other information that you need to get started doing this kind of thing at home. I am telling you, it is a lot of fun. Also, please hit the subscribe button if you wanna stay up to date on all of our great saxophone related content. All right, let's get started. All right, so let's take a look at the equipment that I used to make this video. I'm gonna start out with the equipment that you would definitely need to start looping at home, and then I'm gonna move on to all the other equipment that I used in this video. First and most important is the looping pedal. In this video, I used the Outlaw Lasso. I picked up this pedal in a boutique music shop in Brooklyn some time back. I really like it, but there are a lot of options out there. I know a lot of people who use the Ditto loopers and really like those. We'll talk a little bit more in a bit about how they work. Next up, we have the microphone. For this video, I used the SE Voodoo VR1. I'm a big fan of this mic. It's a ribbon mic, which works really great for saxophone. But if you are looking for something a little more cost effective to do this at home, I would check out the Shure SM57. A quick note that you will want to make sure that whatever microphone you use does not require phantom power. It's not impossible to do this with a mic that requires phantom power, but it is a lot easier to use a microphone that does not need it. Next up, you're gonna need an XLR to 1/4 inch adapter. Because the connection coming from the microphone is gonna be XLR, we use this adapter so that we can plug them into the pedals. These adapters are pretty inexpensive and easy to find online. I will make sure to include a link to one that I recommend, but you could also go to your nearest guitar center and they will definitely have them in the store. The next thing that you're gonna need is some headphones or an amp so that you can hear the loops that you make. If you wanna use headphones, I would definitely recommend getting a pair of studio headphones with a 1/4 inch jack just to make things easy. If you have an adapter, you could also really use any headphones that you want. If you're wanting to use an amplifier, I would definitely recommend using a keyboard amp. The reason I recommend this is because keyboard amps handle low frequencies and high frequencies really well. If you try to use a guitar amp or a bass amp, the saxophone just doesn't end up sounding really that natural. My own personal amp is the Roland KC990, but I would definitely recommend any of the Roland KC series. Saxophones are gonna sound really great on these amps and they have a lot of different options. Now, if you are wanting to record into your computer, you're gonna need an interface and a DAW, which is a digital audio workshop. For this video, I used the Focusrite 2i2 as my interface. I really like the Focusrite products because they are inexpensive and very user-friendly. For my DAW, I used Ableton Live. Now, there are a lot of options out there now for DAWs. Most Mac users are gonna be familiar with GarageBand. What I would recommend is whatever interface you get, it will come with its own DAW, so I would start with that. I also used a Boss Harmonist pedal in this video. When we start to take a look at the video, I will let you know how I used it and how it works. Now, the last piece of equipment that I used for this video is a preamp. A preamp isn't totally necessary, but it definitely helps warm up the sound of your saxophone. For this video, I used the PreSonus Tube Pre V2. Like I said earlier, the preamp is just gonna help warm up and saturate your sound a little bit, so it's gonna sound a lot more natural after it comes out of the pedals. Next, I'm gonna show you how to set up all of this equipment. I'm also gonna let you know how to use either headphones, an amp, or an interface depending on what you want to use at home. All right, to start out, you're going to take your microphone and you are going to connect that to your XLR cable like so. Then you're going to take the other end of that XLR cable and you are going to connect that to your XLR to 1/4 inch adapter. Let's see if I can get this. Once you got that done, you're gonna take this and you're gonna plug it in to your looping pedal. All right, now's where you have a couple of different options depending on what you wanna do at home. You could connect the other end of the looper into a pair of headphones with a 1/4 inch jack, right there like that. Or if you want to use an amp, you take a 1/4 inch cable, plug it into the looper, send it to your amp. You can also, of course, connect that 1/4 inch to your interface if you are recording onto your computer at home. Now, I real quick also wanted to show you what my setup was for this video. So to start out, I have my microphone, the SE Voodoo VR1. I ran that using the adapter into my Boss Harmonious, which I then connected to my looper. Now from my looper, I used a 1/4 inch cable to connect to my PreSonus tube amp. Like I said, the tube amp isn't necessary, but I found that when using pedals with the saxophone, a preamp really helps warm up that sound so the saxophone sounds natural. So then from my tube preamp, I ran that into my Focusrite interface, which connected to my computer to record into Ableton. All right, let's hop in here and take a look. Let's get this video started. All right, we're rolling. So this first instrument that I'm gonna loop with is called a cabasa. You can see when I start the loop right there, the loop just started. The loop pedal is now recording, and when I click the pedal again, it will stop recording and then start looping what I just recorded. So there you go, now it's looping that cabasa part. When you start looping at home, it's really important to know that getting that first loop down is a little difficult if you're trying to make it rhythmic. Just practice with it over time, it gets easier. I'm putting some clave on it now. All right, so now I'm switching over to tenor sax. And you can see right there, now I'm using the harmonizer pedal. So for this first part, I have it set to octave. So you can hear the saxophone pitch and the harmonizer is creating an octave below that. Awesome, now I'm changing the harmonizer pedal to thirds. So you're gonna hear the pitch that I play and the harmonizer is gonna create a third. See that each time I finish a new loop, I click the pedal. So we're gonna go over to soprano sax now. And on this one, I'm not gonna hit the looper pedal. So as soon as I get done with the loop, it's gonna start recording the next loop. So back to back, I have now 2 soprano saxophone layers. Now we're jamming out on the loop. Awesome. There you go. Now you have all the information that you need to get started making your own loop sessions at home. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please hit the subscribe button to make sure you're staying up to date on all of our great saxophone related content. Lastly, if you are looking to buy or sell gear, please hop on getasax.com and reach out to us and we will get back to you very soon. Thanks again.